In March of this year, Russia planned to spend $900 billion to support the domestic ICT industry. After hearing about it, Huawei immediately delivered more than $15 million in 5G-related equipment to Russia. It sounds like a normal transaction, but when you look at the current situation, you will understand that this transaction is far more than it looks on the surface. First of all, ICT is a technical term, which means that all communication equipment or application software, and related services, such as television, mobile phones, video conferencing, and computers, all fall into this category, and 5G is its core driving force. In a word, in today's society, if you want to develop ICT, 5G technology cannot be avoided. Before Russia delivered relevant 5G equipment to Huawei, the domestic 5G market in Russia was almost blank. Why is that? Well, as we all know, due to the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, the United States has incited many countries and companies to boycott Russia, including Ericsson and Nokia. You must know that at present, only manufacturers such as Huawei, ZTE, Ericsson, and Nokia can independently build 5G networks in the world, and now the two giants of the four, Ericsson announced an indefinite suspension of business in the Russian market, and Nokia announced its withdrawal from the Russian market. So this is undoubtedly a heavy blow to the relevant market in Russia. And Russia has no choice but to allocate funds and intends to concentrate on filling this vacancy. At this time, Huawei made great progress, not only did not retreat, but also decisively delivered 5G-related equipment. This is basically equivalent to telling the United States and other related companies that Huawei wants the market you don't want. You may think that this is a godsend for Huawei, but if you have learned about the full story, you will find that Huawei did not act on a whim. Instead, it has been the long premeditated plan of Huawei to do it, and it is still related to the United States. Why is that? What are the benefits of the current Russian situation for Huawei? How is Huawei's 5G technology developing in the Russian market? Combining news and thinking together is the Mr. Teller. Before we start today's video, please subscribe to our channel, which is the encouragement that we can create more videos. Okay, let's continue the topic we are talking about. Why is Huawei's layout in the Russia a long-term plan rather than a temporary initiative? All of this still has to start from the United States. After the chip rules were revised, Huawei immediately modified a large number of codes and looked for relevant replacement components. In 2019, Huawei successfully launched Huawei 5G module products without American components to the world. Although this step can be regarded as a reluctance to break away from the United States, in order to be truly free from restraint, Huawei still needs another market that is strong enough to compete with the United States. That is Russia. While confronting the United States, Huawei transferred its R&D center in the United States to Russia, which is expected to have more than 1,500 employees. Huawei even improved the salary of local researchers. At the same time, Huawei invested $10 million to develop local mobile application ecological services, and also invested nearly $8 million to help local 5G-related talents. What's more, Huawei also plans to open 50 exclusive shops in Russia. This means that there will be an additional investment of more than 350 million rubles in the local area in an instant. Huawei's series of operations are undoubtedly telling Russia that as long as you are willing to give me the market, then we will have a win-win situation. But Russia waited and watched at first. After all, Ericsson and Nokia were still there at that time, but it was unexpected that Qualcomm, Ericsson, and Nokia withdrew in April, and Russia experienced successive supply cuts. At this moment, Russia no longer waits and sees, and immediately listed Huawei as the world's first trusted supplier. Of course, Russia also has its own considerations. What kind of company is Huawei? Well, before the chip rule revision, Huawei had the world's most advanced 5G technology and was the only manufacturer in the world that could provide 5G end-to-end services. Later, the United States joined other countries to ban Huawei, but Huawei still ranks first in the global market share of telecommunications equipment. There are a lot of countries who have cancelled the contracts with Huawei, but there are more who came to sign the contract. For example, in March this year, Brazil and Turkey signed a 5G contract with Huawei. Therefore, although the United States has set up many obstacles, Huawei's global business is still in full swing. In the face of such a powerful and cooperative enterprise, if Russia is not blind, it will definitely choose to cooperate with Huawei. After all, the enemy of the enemy is a friend. So, what are the benefits of the current Russian situation for Huawei? First, when Ericsson and other companies exit, it will greatly increase Huawei's global market share. At that time, it will be more difficult for Ericsson and Nokia to catch up with Huawei. Second, Huawei's cooperation with Russia is undoubtedly the best advertisement. I mean, most Western companies are afraid of the US and abandon their customers in minutes when their own interests are involved. But Huawei is different. They value the rights and interests of customers and are willing to take risks. With such a precedent, there will only be more and more countries looking for Huawei to cooperate in the future. At that time, whether the United States is sanctioning or suppressing it, I am afraid it will be meaningless. Most importantly, this means a new chance for Huawei, especially for its Harmony OS operation system. Since its launch in June 2021, Huawei's Harmony OS has developed more than 300 million users in half a year, making it the fastest-growing mobile operating system in history. However, the Harmony OS system is currently mainly used by Chinese users. Huawei needs to find another way out for the Harmony OS system. Huawei has also shown its ambitions for the overseas market. After the success of the Harmony OS system in the Chinese market, the P50 sold to overseas markets has begun to use the Harmony OS system, which means that it hopes that the Harmony OS system will enter the international market and compete directly with the Android system. But considering that overseas consumers are quite dependent on Google, this road is destined to be difficult. Now that Google has taken measures against Russia, it is difficult for Russian consumers to use Google's applications, so the Android ecosystem established by Google will be invalid, and Russian consumers will only be able to use local applications when using mobile phones, so it is a very good opportunity for Harmony OS. Seizing the Russian market is an important step for Harmony OS to enter the international market. When other rivals are leaving Russia, Huawei gets the chance to expand its market in Russia. Harmony OS system is not only used in mobile phones, it is also used in home appliances, wearables, and other products. If Harmony OS can take advantage of the current situation, the number of users that Russia will bring to Harmony OS will not be limited to the tens of millions of users of mobile phones, but includes users such as home appliances and wearable devices, which will exceed 100 million. All in all, it is a win-win situation for both Huawei and Russia. Do you agree with me? Okay, that's all for today. Please put your comments below and share your insightful ideas with other people. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.